Let's get started. And in our first story, the governing New Patriotic Party and the opposition National Democratic Congress have both been addressing separate press conferences, attacking each other's record in government. The NDC were the first to hold their press conference attacking the Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, chastising him for supervising what they believe to be a failing economy, specifically targeting the financial sector and the exchange rate performance. Here is the communication officer of the NDC, Sami Jimfi.
Indeed, they have for the past 2 years delivered $1 million each. $1 million, I take that again, to each of the 275 constituencies in Ghana, such that today all 275 constituencies have received $2 million each for the construction of KVIP toilets. That is what they have used that money for. They have delivered on the promise of one village, one dam, by providing a handful of dugouts and excavated ponds. 419 deliveries is their specialty. Yes, they have delivered on their promise to move Ghana from taxation to production by increasing VAT by 5% under the guise of VAT conversion and introducing new taxes like luxury vehicle tax, etc. Again, they have delivered on their promise to stabilize the exchange rate so well that the Ghana cedi is currently struggling against all major foreign currencies. Today, the NPP so-called economic messiah, Dr. Bawumia, has completely lost his mojo due to his manifest impotence and cluelessness. He has chickened out from economics and is now seeking refuge in technology, to bracket Ghana Post GPS and the NPP has totally lost touch with the suffering masses and is certainly not attuned to the excruciating economic realities in our country today. The reality, however, is that the Kufuor-Bawumia government has so far been a monumental failure. Having betrayed the trust of the Ghanaian people, they have again resorted to lies in a desperate attempt to save their fast-sinking image. The NPP has and will always have the DNA of lies, double talk, and hypocrisy.
Now, on the other side, the NPP took on the opposition, describing their rating of government as ignorant. National Youth Organizer Nana Boakye says, contrary to claims by the NDC that the NPP has only KVIPs to show for its 1 million per constituency project, government has rather invested in setting up the structures to ensure accountability and curb corruption.
They first claim that the Vice President has moved from the field of economics to technology. Come to think of it, is this a display of poverty of thought or a complete misunderstanding of what economic management is all about? So, in the knowledge of the NDC, economic management is anything but for technology. Is there any better economy in the world that has not gone the digital way? Are they saying that ensuring mobile money payment interoperability, electronic payment systems, national identification, digital property address, digitized land records, paperless port system, and others are part of economic management? You see, if you have a party that only believes that GDP, inflation, interest rates, etc., are the only things to consider as economic management, then we have a problem as a country. And for the information of the NDC, all the economic fundamentals such as GDP, inflation, interest rate, budget deficit, trade balance, and so on, have been fixed by His Excellency, the Vice President, Dr. Alhaj Mahmoud Bawumia, led economic management team. Relative to what we inherited, we are doing these alongside building a formalized economy through digitization, we can say that the alternative to the MPP, which is the NDC, is still scary. Very, very scary. The NDC claim that under 1 million one constituency policy, government can boast of only KVIPs. The fact are that the MPP promised 1 million per constituency in its manifesto through IPEP. As we speak, every constituency can boast of at least 3 of these projects. Warehouse as part of the One District, One Warehouse project, One Village, One Dam project, community-based water system, 10-seater institutional toilet facilities. The MPP has reduced the debt to GDP ratio from 73% to 53%. Very, very, very significant. 73% to 57%. And growth and in our economy, from the growth rate in our economy to, we have shot it up from 3.7% to 8.1%. You see, we have borrowed less, reduced our debt service burden, and enhanced economy than more than what the NDC.
Well, meanwhile, the chairman of Parliament's Constitution and Legal Affairs Committee, Ben Abdullah, is cautioning the public against the continuous piling of pressure on Parliament to pass the Right to Information Bill into law. Is worried if the legislature gives in to the pressure, the House may end up passing a defective law that would be difficult to correct going forward. It will be recalled previous deadlines to get the bill passed before November 15 have not been met. The House spent time considering amendment to the bill. Mr. Abdullah said the House is committed to passing the bill ultimately.
You know, consideration of bills takes a lot of time because it is a painstaking exercise. That is where you can make and omit the laws. So if you don't take your time, and because the pressure seems to be coming from all corners of the society, and you decide to rush the bill into a law, you may end up making a lot of mistakes which cannot be corrected until the whole law is holistically reviewed or amended.
So the public has to be cautious with the pressure
no,
that comes.
Parliament has to be cautious and the public has to be cautious. We all do understand that the Right to Information Bill, the passage of it is long overdue. Yes, we have to speed up the process, but we have to speed up the process with a lot of accuracy and meticulousness. That is very important. If you don't do that and you get yourself crumbled under the pressure, you end up coming up with a law which is bedeviled or deplete with a lot of defects.
Now, the General Secretary of the Ghana Medical Association has been facing off with government officials following claims he endorsed the controversial medical drone project. Dr. Justice Yankson says government never consulted him on the project. This comes after Deputy Information Minister Pius Hajide at a news conference on Wednesday stated that Dr. Yankson fully supported the drone system when he met the Vice President earlier this year at a health summit. According to him, government is shocked. The Medical Association is insisting it was not consulted on implementation of the drone delivery health system. Here's what Nancy Emefa Dradosi has put together.
The implementation of the newly approved drone health delivery system is soaked in controversy. The Ghana Association of Medical Laboratory Scientists kicked against the implementation of the drone system, stating that they were not consulted. Barely an hour after Parliament approved the drone service on Tuesday, the Ghana Medical Association GMA also waded in, stating they were also not consulted. The GMA insisted the services to be provided by the drones do not conform to the existing primary healthcare policy in the country, adding that the use of the drones without the necessary improvement in human resource capacity will not benefit the country. But addressing journalists at a bi-weekly meeting with the press in Accra earlier today, Deputy Minister of Information, Pius Hajide, said the General Secretary of the Ghana Medical Association, Dr. Yankson, gave government the association's blessing for the rollout of the drone system.
At the 2018 Annual Health Summit in Accra, the Vice President Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia announced to the Ghana Medical Association government's intention to roll out the project as part of efforts to ensure effective healthcare delivery. The Ghana Medical Association welcomed the decision by government, and to quote the General Secretary of the GMA, Dr. Justice Yankson's reaction to the announcement, and I quote, "Well, as for us as an association, on countless occasions, we have bemoaned the state of emergency medical service in the country. So, if efforts are being made by the government to ensure that we strengthen that sector, we strengthen that aspect of our healthcare delivery, then we say kudos. Government is therefore taken aback at the current position of the GMA when it says, and I quote, the proposed services to be provided by the drones do not conform to the primary healthcare policy in Ghana."
He also noted government can only give clarity to various stakeholders who do not understand the drone health delivery service but will not suspend it.
Once the Parliament of Ghana has passed the deal, it is now binding. We are grateful to Parliament for that. It is now binding, and we expect that in the shortest possible time, implementation will commence. Government is, however, willing and ready to engage with any stakeholder who seeks to engage with a view to giving clarity on the matters on which they may lack understanding and clarity.
Government also called for support from all stakeholders in implementation of the service. Nancy Emefa Dradosi, JoyNews.
But in a sharp rebuttal, the General Secretary of the Ghana Medical Association, Dr. Justice Yankson, says government has never engaged him on implementation of the medical drone system.
I've told you loud and clear that I wasn't there. The GMA wasn't there. You know what? Not just the heading. He should read the entire content. Because in his statement today, he never mentioned ambulances and what have you. He's saying same. Yes. Here. Today he mentioned 275 ambulances and all that. At the time, the question to me was that, look, government says that they are going to do various things to improve the emergency medical services. And I said that, yes. If, as an association, we've bemoaned this over a long period, and government says that they are going to put in certain measures, that is welcome. That is fine. Like I said to you, the reporter, this was in April, when this drone business hadn't even come into the picture, talks about efforts that government wants to. It wasn't part of the conversation. So but even, no, what I'm saying that, even if we spoke about the use of ICT and all that, these are standard things that happen the world over. Use of ICT to improve medical services. So I was looking at the collective, and you can see from the statement, my words are very clear. My references are very clear. The fundamental question is, did the collective include? No, I didn't even mention drones. Okay.
Gandhi must fall was the chant 2 years ago. And finally, Gandhi has fallen. The controversial statue of renowned Indian political and civil rights leader Mahatma Gandhi has been removed, apparently, from the campus of the University of Ghana. Some students and lecturers of the university had called for the removal of the statue just because of what they call his racist identity. An online petition was launched afterwards, and some students had earlier defaced the statue in protest. The Vice-Chancellor of the University of Ghana, Professor Ebenezer Odrowusu, tells JoyNews the Ministry of Foreign Affairs requested to relocate the sculpture. Emmanuel Jivenu was at the University of Ghana and brings us the latest.
I'm currently here at the University of Ghana, specifically just behind the BAM Library, where the statue of Indian independence fighter Mahatma Gandhi was erected. But today, individuals from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we are told, came in to pull it down. The structure was put here sometime in June 2016 when the current president of India visited Ghana. This was to cement the bilateral relationship between India and Ghana. But soon after it was erected here, there were some movements called the Gandhi Must Fall who agitated for the statue to be taken off. Their concern was that Mahatma Gandhi was a racist and never stood for the ideals of the African man. According to the Vice Chancellor of the University of Ghana, Professor Ebenezer Idro Usu, personnel from the ministry visited the university and spoke to the registrar about their consideration to move the facility from the campus of the University of Ghana. And this morning, true to that, the structure has been taken off. I've been speaking to one of the lead advocates for the hashtag Gandhi Must Fall movement in the person of Dr. Obadele Kambon. He said he's excited the facility has been taken off and would urge government never to put the structure anywhere on the campus or on any part of the country.
I've been saying congratulations, we're so happy it's gone, and people were not consulted in general. So this was something that was done by the higher ups. We won't say any names, but we know who they are. And they decided to just place a statue because I'm sure that they were under the same impression of most of the world, where if you go to a Martin Luther King memorial, you'll see Gandhi there. If you go to Senegal, you'll see Gandhi. They put these statues, South Africa, they put these statues all over, and it literally depends on ignorance for anyone to accept the statue. For us as black people, we have to have black dignity, we have to have black self-respect. If you say that, oh, my plate is nothing but a rubbish bin, then the whole world will collect rubbish in it. But when you say my plate is a wonderful plate, then people are willing to eat off of it. I don't think it's done because I know that they have many more statues there as they're trying to push in soft power, the Kumkum Baja, all of these things that we're seeing, the Confucius Institute from China. Everyone is trying to get a foothold here in Africa. So I don't think it's done.
Well, I've been speaking to some of the students who also expressed varied opinions about the structure that has been taken off.
Although I recognize that Gandhi was involved in a very racially simulated manner, I also understand that he has his good side. So although I get the point that others were making that this shouldn't have been here in the first place, in general, it doesn't really bother me that much.
Yeah, I'm excited Mahatma Gandhi's structure has been taken off campus because he was a racist and he was against Africans. So we putting up his structure is like backing up his idea of racism.
Excited because I've heard a lot of things about him concerning he being racist and he not liking blacks and among other things. And then so for him to have a statue in our university here is a very, very big concern to we, the students who are aspiring to take Africa to a higher heights. And then seeing the fact that he being a racist and then he being here, his statue being here, which means people will look up to him and stuff. And then somebody being a racist, we as black people, we shouldn't look up to him. And so that's why I think his statue being off is a very, very good example for we, the students of University of Ghana.
Oh, quite interesting. And people's views about Gandhi, etc. I don't seem to agree, though. But, you know, Pan-Africanism and all the things about black consciousness is always around us. So what can we say?
I wonder if even the deeds of Mahatma Gandhi were not enough to erase his past, then perhaps some people ought to give up trying to rehabilitate themselves.
I guess so. I guess so. But we have to bring you a review of the newspapers. We'll do that next. Stay with us.